Coming this September, starring great weather, spectacular landscapes, and possibly you. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Summer starts early in the Northern Territory. Seek an early summer holiday in the NT. Different in every sense.
Hello and welcome to Darwin as the 2022 NBL Blitz fires up with the first of 7 straight nights of double headers. Later tonight it's Cairns versus Perth, but first it's an historic grand final rematch as Fleur McIntyre tonight becomes the first female in NBL history to be head coach in a pre-season or regular season game as she leads the Sydney Kings in a battle against the Tasmania JackJumpers. Good evening, Liam Santamaria on deck alongside the one and only Corey Homicide Williams. Corey, big night of hoops tonight.
Man, I'm just glad to be back next to you, Liam. It's been a while. It's been a great off season. It's been short, but happy to be here. Grand
final rematch. Man. First up on the slate, there are the JackJumpers, of course, the Cinderella story last season, Corey, in their first year of existence.
It couldn't have gone any better. You couldn't script this. The man himself, Larry Kesman, couldn't have scripted this. It was beautiful what they did. They won the hearts of that state and the country. And I'm really looking forward to see what they do this season.
Well, down the other end, of course, the Sydney Kings, the defending champs. A bit of a new look lineup with their import trio of last season who were absolutely spectacular. Jalen Adams, Ian Clark and Jarrell Martin, not in uniform, but in place they have some fascinating pickups.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Derek Walton Jr. comes in with a big resume, a wealth of experience, and is a really good player. So I can't wait to see him get to it. Tim Soares, Justin Simon, as we know, Defensive Player of the Year when he was here with Illawarra, went to Germany and became Defensive Player again. So looking forward to seeing him do his thing as well.
Last night, of course, the NBL Blitz got underway with the Adelaide 36ers getting a win over the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. But tonight, as I said off the top, Corey, historic moment.
Oh, man.
With Fleur McIntyre stepping up, taking the reins. Chase Buford stepping aside. Kevin Lish will coach their second game. But Fleur McIntyre, she makes history tonight.
It's fantastic. She's a legend in herself. I got nothing but respect for her, and it's great that she's getting this opportunity. About time, and I'm glad that Sydney Kings made it happen right now.
Here are the starting lineups that you'll see when we tip off. Josh Majette, Matt Kenyon in the backcourt for the JackJumpers alongside Milton Doyle, Rashard Kelly and Fabian Krislovic up front. And for the Sydney Kings, Derek Walton Jr. You'll get to know his face soon enough alongside Dejan Vasiljevic and Justin Simon on the perimeter, Xavier Cooks and Geordie Hunter up front.
So good to see Geordie Hunter. He's been injured, a horrific injury early in the season. It's good to see him back.
So many different storylines to get involved in tonight and across the NBL Blitz. And for the Kings, really, that championship defense begins tonight. And for the JackJumpers, well, can they back it up after what was such a spectacular inaugural campaign?
I believe that they can back it up. I don't know if it's a tall order. Look, let's be honest. It's a tall order to get to the grand finals. But I know this. They will be extremely competitive. And that home court in Tassie is a fortress. No easy wins down there.
Inside that huddle, of course, Fleur McIntyre. I spoke to her pre-game a couple of hours out from tip-off tonight. And she said, Liam, it's not about me. It's about the boys. It's about women everywhere who want to chase the dream. I said, okay, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now a couple of hours from tip-off? She said, you know what? I'm just going to smile, be me, enjoy the moment, and hopefully we don't get our asses kicked.
But she's right, man. She's a hell of a role model, and this right here will be very inspiring to the ones that's attempting to try the same thing. So congratulations to her.
Absolute trailblazer. And before tip-off, while we have the opportunity, let's shout out those that came before her in this realm. Of course, Laurie Chiswick, who was assistant coach for me, really, at the Victoria Titans under Brian Goorjian. Michelle Timms, Tracy York, and of course Chanel Pompalier, Fleur McIntyre, the latest in that line of female assistant coaches in the league. And tonight she gets the chance to hold the whiteboard, call the shots, and patrol the sidelines.
All you want to do in this situation is get the W. So good luck. Good luck to her and the Kings. And that man right there on screen, my pick for NBL 23 MVP. That man is on a mission.
And that man, of course, you're talking about Xavier Cooks. There's Derek Walton Jr. in shot, walking out on floor, excited for what he's going to do this season. Led the NBA G League in assists last season. And there's a couple of interesting faces, Rashad Kelly and Milton Doyle stepping out. Fascinating to see what they're going to bring for Tasmania this season.
I know there's a matchup I'm right now looking forward to. Xavier Cooks versus Rashad Kelly. That's the matchup I want to see.
Well, it's the opening leg of your Saturday night doubleheader at the NBL Blitz in Darwin, and Sydney versus Tassie, the grand final rematch. Vaughan Mabry in the middle, and we are underway. Sydney will control possession. Derek Walton Jr. running the show for the purple and gold. Early foul on the perimeter, Josh Majette. And you can expect plenty of physicality from the JackJumpers every time they step out on the floor.
And both of these teams are going to go hard. The JackJumpers, that's one of their blueprints. We're going to play hard. We're going to be physical every possession.
It's Justin Simon. Great to see him back in the league. On the attack, familiar sight with Simon, and the JackJumpers get to stop. Here's Josh Majette in transition. Slows it down. They love to control the tempo. The JackJumpers. Kelly, Doyle, little floater in the lane, and that's butter for Milton Doyle, and scores are underway.
And that is a very good offensive set, and as you said, JackJumpers love to control the tempo. Good defense, good hands by Walton.
Out in transition, here's Kelly. Oh, athletic play at the rim. And foul called on Jordan Hunter. Rashad Kelly will go to the free throw line.
Sorry about that. Good hands on the defensive end by Milton Doyle, getting a deflection, which led to a transition. Good pass to this man right here, Rashad Kelly, as he goes to the line for two. Really liked what he did so far in the preseason. He's coming in shape, ready to play. Saw him both games against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and I just really like how he's fitting in so far with this team.
Played his college ball at Wichita State. Rashad Kelly, shout out Cal Bruton, OAM. He's since played in Russia, Italy, Turkey, and France before arriving here in the NBL, and he goes 0 for 2 there from the stripe.
Those rims are pretty tight up there, because I saw yesterday's game, the Phoenix, specifically Allen Williams, couldn't hit a free throw. Even bricked one.
Well, Gary Brown had his struggles as well. 3 of 17 from the field. Let's see if they can tick the scoreboard over tonight. But Sijovic rolls one in over the front of the rim.
And he is in sensational form, coming off an incredible grand final series. Remember that shot he hit against them? Woo. Them meeting the JackJumpers in game 2. Woo.
There's Doyle getting to his spot at the free throw line, but rolls off the rim. He's in for a massive season, the Sijovic, the Summer League, and just tearing it up in the NBL 1. Pull up, triple from Walton Jr. rims off. Here's the JackJumpers. Kenyon on the attack, kicks it out. Majette finds Kelly, and his shot rims off. Krizlovic, good work underneath, and Kenyon maintains possession. Majette, pull up triple. That's off the rim. And the Kings control possession. Here's Justin Simon, pushes it up, kick ahead. Walton Jr. back to Simon, and he can't finish. So that's another stop for the JackJumpers. 2 apiece here in the early going. Milton Doyle. Ball getting through plenty of hands. One-legged runner from Majette is off the rim. Here's Walton Jr. wheeling and dealing in transition. Foul called on the perimeter. Krizlovic. And the Kings will take it on the side.
Walton Jr. Talk about him. His resume Very impressive so far. Went to the University of Michigan. Had shots with Miami Heat, Detroit Pistons, and the Clippers. Played in Europe, France, Germany, Lithuania, to be exact, and played in the G League, as you said, led in assists. And as we know, he has huge shoes to fill.
It's gonna be a little. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. Milton Doyle, foul called underneath. Doyle finds Kelly, and he's to the stripe.
That was great rim protection. Really good pass, but good protection by Jordan Hunter. Good to see him back on the court healthy.
And of course, missed all of last season. Jordan Hunter with that foot injury, broken bone in his foot. Worked his way back through the NBL 1, and Kings rapt to have him back in uniform this season. And on the flip side, Milton Doyle, he's a smooth operator.
He is.
Corey, scoring and setting up his teammates off the bounce.
From Chicago. A little bit of history with him. Had a two-way with the Brooklyn Nets, Long Island Nets. Played in Spain. Went and played with the Windy City Bulls the following season. Averaged 17 and 5. Went to Italy and played in Turkey. A little bit of experience.
Walton Jr. ticks one over for the Kings. Here's Majet off the ball screen with Krislovic. Good defense from Hunter. Late in the shot clock now for Tassie. Kenyon in the corner. That's off the rim, and Xavier Cooks couldn't quite handle it, and Tassie will get it back.
Tassie doing a good job on the offensive board. Kings early have to put a body on the JackJumpers. They are seriously active on that whole boards.
14 on the shot clock for Tassie. 4-3 early lead for Sydney. Here's Majet, lets it fly from long range, and that's down. 3-point hit from Josh Majet.
Josh Majet will make you pay if you go under. He will make you respect the jumper.
He's in for a big year, Josh Majet. It was a strong first year in the league for him, as Xavier Cooks misses everything on his attempt, but I feel like with that first year under his belt, he knows exactly what Scott Roth wants from him as the point guard, as he gets to work again here, sets up Doyle, who back rims the triple. He's in for another big season.
Yeah, he is, and the hardest thing to do is get comfortable your first year and really hit your stride, as they did. So the next year, you're extremely comfortable coming back, same bed, same apartment, coach, system, teammates. He's definitely in for a big year, and all those things matter. It's not easy to just fit right into a situation. So to get to your second season with the same coach and pretty much the core of your team, it does a lot for your confidence.
Those tight Darwin ribs causing havoc.
Super tight.
Right
The game last night, Phoenix, they missed so many bunnies. Super tight.
These two teams having a bit of trouble from range. Right now, Majet from way downtown, and that's off the rim. Kenyon all hustle underneath.
Good job by Kenyon. That's why he gets those minutes.
Here's Walton Jr. Pull up bucket from long range.
Nice mid-range. Nice three ball. Sorry.
Might have to tell on the line there. Looks like that's gone up by 2, but that looked nice. Keeping the defense honest in transition. Here's Doyle. Off the Krislovic screen. Turns down the mid-range Krislovic. Needs to start to shoot that one, Krislovic. If he's wide open, he'll let it fly from long range, but they're giving him a little space to operate there in mid-range.
Yeah, you got to knock that down. You got to make the defense pay. And they cheat and play off you.
Rotations for both teams here. Noy, Jalen Galloway, and Tim Suarez in for Sydney. Our first look at Suarez, the new import big, and for Tassie, Jared Weeks, Jack McVeigh, and Jared Bairstow are in, and Milton Doyle, again, sweet with the jumper.
Nice mid-range hit. He's a smooth operator.
Very smooth. Offensive foul, hooking foul called on Walton Jr. and we're going the other way. And for McIntyre, she's not impressed. Good to see Jack McVeigh back out there.
Oh, man, one of the crowd favorites, one of my favorites. You know I got a lot of favorites. Jack McVeigh, good to see him on the court. Really excited for him this upcoming season.
Here is McVeigh. Can't hit from the corner. Yeah, back from a shoulder injury. They're going to ease him back into proceedings tonight. Here's Walton Jr. probing in transition. Courtney, a big off-season campaign. NBL 1 North MVP, and he's straight to the free throw line.
This is a conversation we need to have right now. We're going to have it.
I'm ready.
This is Courtney's third season? Fourth season. Tremendous talent, we know this. He has been injured every season. He now goes somewhere different, and he needs to perform. It is time. It is overdue. Now, mind you, obviously he had some serious injuries that did not allow him to finish a full season yet. It's time.
Well, certainly looking good. I mean, he's dropped a bit of weight, it seems, and had such an impressive campaign over the off-season, coming in to NBL 23 in good form.
And that's great to see, because last season he was super overweight.
There's Isaac White, injury replacement out of Illawarra.
Again, one of my favorites. Isaac White, all hustle and hard.
Instant impact off the bench. And the turnover results, it's Jackson McCoy checking in for the Kings. So the rotation's coming thick and fast right now. South Sudanese national team played last season in Croatia, McCoy, and the Kings are high on what he's going to bring to them as a DP.
That's nice, and the South Sudanese national team have been doing their thing. Boomers have been doing their thing as well, but it's good to see this young fella in the league, and if the Kings are high on him, it is for a reason. The defending champs are not going to sign any players that cannot add value, not at this point.
Scott Ross rocking the shorts. Sideline, Corey, are you here for that?
I'm here for that. You know how hot it is up there? Shout out to Darwin. I wish I was there.
You saw Simon Mitchell
yesterday.
Had the legs out yesterday. And Scott Ross following suit.
Courtney does look good. Lost a lot of weight.
Here's Sean Bruce, the veteran. Finds Noy, spins, and finishes at the rim. And there was a little bounce to Courtney right there on that finish.
Yeah, I mean, he has to know exactly what I stated. He has to know. So it's great to see him coming in shape and getting to it early.
Offensive foul on Jack McVeigh. Good hustle defensively from Jackson McCoy. And the Kings take it back now. JackJumpers over the limit. Free throws the rest of this quarter for Sydney as they hold a 10-9 lead here. 7 minutes into the opening quarter. Saturday night doubleheader in Darwin for the NBL 23 Blitz. We've got Cairns and Perth coming up later. The new look, Perth Wildcats. With an NBL legend at the helm. We'll talk more about that as we advance. A guy you know very, very well, calling the shots.
Oh, man.
Out
You
west.
are excited for him.
Here's Weeks. Kicks Sean McDonald. He can't hit. And Courtney is on the attack. Rips it off the D glass. Pushes in transition. And picks up the offensive foul.
The defense, easy call. Pushed off with the off arm. JackJumpers ball. Low scoring. Those rims are tight. Let's see if JackJumpers get a bucket.
There's a look at the Sydney bench. Of course, Angus Glover there towards the right of your screen, dealing with some knee soreness. Not what we ever want to hear for Angus Glover, but he's a chance to miss the first part of the season. Hopefully he comes good and can have a big year.
He had a big year for him last season defensively. He's tough.
Here's Weeks. Pulls up from long range. Can't hit. And again, Noy cleaning the glass. Sparking Sydney in transition. Here is Noy. Super aggressive. Confident. Can't knock that down. And the JackJumpers take it away.
Love the noise. Energy early. at both ends.
So what do you need to see from Kawatnoi in terms of, here he is checking out, good early run for him, but you say it's a big season for him. What do you need to see from him on a game-to-game basis this season?
I need to see him play all 28 games. I need him healthy, number one. Number two, defensively getting to it, rebounding the ball. 3, not relying solely on the 3-ball. Getting to it off the dribble, getting to the rack. We know when he's healthy, he can score a lot in bunches. I just need him consistent and healthy, and I think he'll do well. You know, he has grown accustomed to doing a lot of talking and wasn't delivering, and a lot of it had to do with him not being healthy. So I need him to just focus, not talking, just playing.
Fair enough. There is a lot of talent there. He's having such a sensational rookie campaign before that got cut short with injury, and you're right. If he can stay on the floor, he could be a real key piece for this Sydney squad. McVeigh can't hit. Geez, the JackJumpers are ice cold from long range. Kings slipping under those screens on the perimeter, and Tassie finding it hard to hit. There's Xavier Cooks, well contested from McVeigh. Tassie on the hop. Good D from Bruce on the weak side. McVeigh, he gets a look, and he's off the iron as well. Vasiljevic, good hands from Bairstow. Typical Tasmania JackJumper scrappy basketball right now. As we tick down in the final minute of the opening quarter, White, Weeks, and that one's off the iron. Oh my goodness, there's Glad Wrap on the rim.
Man, ice cold from downtown. Getting the looks that they want. And Coach Ross wouldn't be mad at that. Just keep looking.
Low scoring opening quarter, no doubt about that. Both teams just dusting off the cobwebs here to begin the NBL Blitz as Jackson McCoy gets downhill. He draws the foul and will get to the strike. He's got some length about him, McCoy, at the point guard position.
He does. Not too many point guards in our league that tall. Looking forward to seeing more from this young man.
He's really turned heads with his play for South Sudan. Has been a real staple for that team. Of course, they've had some big names come into the squad in recent times, but Jackson McCoy from the get-go has really been getting things done for that squad.
Super talented squad, and they're getting wins as well. Shout out to Luau Deng, who really poured into the program.
Big bucket to end the first quarter from Sean McDonald. Much needed bucket for the JackJumpers, who had been a little dry for the previous couple of minutes, but good push in the final seconds of that opening term, and it was a low-scoring affair, Corey, in that first period, but a close game, always a good game.
And that's all we want. Close, good game. At some point, those baskets will give way and they'll start dropping. Never mind that. We're not even going to talk about what's going on the screen right now. Let's just get to the second quarter.
I'm not convinced by those three-point numbers, just by the way. I'm not convinced by those numbers. The field goal percentage, perhaps, sub 30 and around 30 from the field. There you see the rebounding counts pretty straightforward. It's a close contest, but both teams just find it a little bit difficult to find their touch in the early going. But some good signs, in particular from Kawatnoi off the bench for the Kings, as these two teams just start to find their way in a preseason.
Yep. 1 quarter down, 3 more to go. Good to see. I'm really impressed with how Kawatnoi is in shape. Last year he started. This is the talking point for me so far in this quarter. Is just him, and I really wish him to be healthy. It's a big year for him, and this is a huge opportunity. This league, I'm not even going to say it, but we know this is a tough league, and there's plenty local players thirsty for opportunity. So you got to make sure you're healthy enough to take full advantage of it because it's not always going to be there. This is why I'm talking about it like this. This is the 4th year.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned Fleur McIntyre off the top. If you're just joining the ball game, there you see her giving the instructions to her squad as we get a little look at some first quarter highlights. Historic night for the Sydney Kings with McIntyre, the first female to be a head coach for an NBL regular season or preseason game, and her team's off to a nice start in this first half, and we got a little look there at Derek Walton Jr. getting to the rim. You mentioned big shoes to fill. He's the point guard. There he is, matched up with Jared Weeks to begin this second quarter. He's going to be a massive key for the purple and gold this season.
He is. He truly is. And I want to read a bit of his resume. In the state of Michigan, he was Gatorade Player of the Year. That's pretty much the best player in the state in high school. He was Parade All-American, which means basically one of the best players in the country. Big Ten tournament MVP, all-freshman team, made all-second team, French Cup winner in 2021, and as you said, the assist leader in the G League. And I trust the coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to bring a guy that's not a stud after a stud leaving.
I hear you.
I trust him.
He's been slept on a little. There's a lot of talk about Rajan Tucker, a lot of talk about Tyler Johnson, these guys with NBA experience. This guy, having spent last season with Detroit, their G League affiliate, I think is going to be really effective in the league this season. Xavier Cooks with a block to begin this second quarter. Down Vacevic can't hit there, and there's been no change to the score in the opening couple of possessions. Weeks along the baseline. Here's Isaac White. Good defense from Sean Bruce. Finds Bairstow, and he hits the catch and shoot Jimmy.
Nice penetrate off the bounce. Isaac White finding an open man to hit.
Turnover from the Kings. JackJumpers and their stingy defense coming up fronts right there. Here's McVeigh. Gets a little step, spins, and can't knock down the jumper. Jordy Harnick clears it for the Kings. Here's Bruce. Finds Vacevic. That's down. Dejan Vacevic cannot give him that kind of space.
No, you cannot. And the confidence that he's playing with because of, obviously, okay, they came off the championship. Comes in, plays NBL 1, lights it up. Then goes to Vegas. When they put him in the game, lights it up. So he's coming into this season in form and super confident.
And he's their primary weapon and target on the perimeter this season as well. Walton Jr. is going to set guys up. You got Cooks and Justin Simon. These guys are going to slash to the rim. But on the perimeter, that action is all going to be run for Dejan Vacevic this season.
I said it when he came on NBL Overtime last season. He is now going to be in that Chris Goulding space. He has the opportunity to be exactly what Chris Goulding is for Melbourne United for the Sydney Kings. You better believe he'll be ready for that.
Big season ahead. Here's Rashad Kelly. Mid-range pull-up. That's down. And we're all tied up in Darwin in the second term.
Mid-range hits for the JackJumpers.
Here's Jordy Hunter from long range. Can't hit there. Has that in his kit bag. Jordan Hunter. Here's Kelly. Noy, good hands. Kings take it away. Vacevic heads on a swivel. Walton Jr. Nice finish at the rim.
Good defense, one-on-one on the other end by Noy. Sparks that transition break and gets a bucket. Kings at 2.
We talked about his ability to distribute Walton Jr., but the Kings' hierarchy is Weeks catches and knocks down the triple. They're talking about his efficiency at the offensive end. You can say, hey, look, yeah, he can set guys up, but he can score as well, Walton Jr. Great pass on cue, and he finds Justin Simon at the rim.
That was on cue, Liam. Nice one. Yeah, he can. He's going to have to. And what's good for him is, his backcourt mate is going to fill it up, so he doesn't have to come in and rely heavily on scoring. You got Xavier Cooks cleaning it up, so Quatnoy coming off the bench. Another jump shot hit by the JackJumpers. Now this game is picking up a little bit. Quatnoy.
Back-to-back knockdowns from Jared Weeks, agent 97. And he's hunched over, needs a rest. He's out of gas. Too many buckets for Weeks, and he needs a rest.
Good offensive effort by Weeks. Come in, go hard, sit down, get your break.
This McIntyre, she fixing her hair or is she calling the play? I think she's calling the play right there. He's not. Guarded by Kelly. Walton Jr. with the Spinola's cut. Finds Hunter at the rim. Big fella, he hit you right in the hands. As a fellow point guard, Corey, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Because that's the point guard's turnover. How many times I average about 4 turnovers a game, and I'm like, these ain't even mine. They're not catching the ball.
How many were yours?
2.
Here's Kelly. Right to left, cross, finds White, and he can't hit. There is something going on with that rim. At the right-hand side of your screen, the JackJumpers cannot find the range. Oh, he's in his bag. He hits him again, back to back.
Listen, I'm not passing him the ball no more. That's 2 turnovers that's coming to me because you're not catching the ball.
That's it.
That's it. Just set screens. That's it.
Wow. Ball movement from the JackJumpers is nice. I hear you. I know what you're talking about. Kelly straightaway triple. That's off the back of the rim. Here's the Kings on the push. Simon, kick out to Galloway. Fluid release, but it's way too long. Walton Jr., he toes the arc. That's off the front of the rim. And Galloway can't control it. Tasmania will take it away. But Walton Jr., he didn't catch him, Geordie Hunter. Yeah, they were back-to-back turnovers, but you can see the playmaking, the court vision on display.
Yeah, you can. And that's exactly, offensively, they can share the load. So it's like last year. They had a superstar point. Yeah, go sit down. Go on, sit down, baby. I'm talking to you at halftime. You want this ball, catch it.
Here's Milton Doyle. He's back out there. Gets right to his spot. Can't hit. And that's what you were talking about with Courtney. Rip it off the defensive glass. Finds Simon. Walton Jr. spinning. He kicks it out to Galloway. A little late in the shot clock here for the Kings. Simon. Doyle gives him a little space. Knows the scouting report. Suarez banks it off the glass. The bank is open on the weekend in far Northern Territory.
Let's talk about Suarez a little bit. Went to the Masters College. It's an NAIA school. He was an All-American 3 years. 3 consecutive years. He was an All-American. Went to Turkey last year, averaged 14 and 9. Was 5th in rebounds, and went to Israel the year after, 14 and 6, and now he's here with us. Well, not with us, but with the Kings.
Walton Jr. found hit Suarez underneath, and the big fella didn't catch that one either. Timeout, Sydney. Walton Jr. is going to come in and say a couple of things in this huddle.
Listen, I will use you all just for screens. You're not going to catch the ball. That's 3 turnovers already.
They were all very nice passes. Hunter sat down, and Suarez, he couldn't quite do any better. Milton Doyle scores down the other end, and Fleur McIntyre, she wants to have a little chat about it. And fair enough, too. It's operation, as Lindsay Gaze would say, it's operation successful, but the patience died a couple of times here for Sydney.
Well, that's why it's preseason. Get these cobwebs out. At least you know he's looking for it.
Well, Walton Jr.'s got the 4 turnovers alongside his name right now, just the 1 assist. Frustration, no doubt, and the JackJumpers making them pay down the other end. We're talking about the game coming up in the second leg tonight, Corey, Perth and Cairns. We're going to talk plenty about John Riley, your man, and this new look Perth Wildcats. But the young and exciting Taipans are going to be fun to watch as well this season.
Oh, yes, they are. I am really, really excited. I mean, think about it. Reigning Rookie of the Year is coming back, right? We'll see him. And we'll see Most Improved Player. I'm excited to see him. TJ McCall, come on, that's the NBL's Russell Westbrook. I love his energy. I love his mode at both ends. So, big game coming up.
Well, a few guys out for the Taipans tonight, which means they're going to be a little short-handed. But those that will be out there will have a license to let it fly, is the word from Adam Ford. So that should be fun for the second leg. Here we are, tight contest. Sydney, a grand final rematch, and that's a deflection from the JackJumpers. The Kings will get this one back. Two-point game. 3 minutes and change left in the second quarter. Xavier Cooks kicks it out. Walton Jr., mid-range pull-up, front of the rim. Cooks keeps it alive for the Kings. Ball goes back to Walton Jr. Here's Suarez. That's what he does, but he can't knock it down right there, and Tassie will take it. So JackJumpers tonight.
OG Cal Bruin sitting courtside. Damn. Good playmaking on one end. Tough finish underneath Justin Simon coming off. He left here with the prestigious Defensive Player of the Year award. He said from the beginning that was what he wanted to be known as. Job well done. Leaves, goes to Germany, and gets Defensive Player of the Year again, which got him back here in the NBL. Good to see him back. Could it possibly be 3 Defensive Player of the Years? 3 consecutive seasons? Wow. Well, that's great to hear. Looking forward to seeing it. And I really like the import duo that the JackJumpers have in those two. Yeah, he just plays at his pace. Like a silent assassin. Just next thing you know is a bucket or assist. Oh, look at that. The pass. Good block. And one. It's just a beautiful play in transition. First of all, a great block by Xavier Cooks, which starts the break. Derek Walton Jr. crosses over and throws a nice alley-oop, and the young fella finishes it. These young fellas was balling in NBL 1. Just kept seeing dunks and dunks. Is that him or his brother that caught the crazy body?
I think that was his brother.
Both of them usually catching crazy dunks, though. They sure do. He sure is. He sure is.
has been fun.
And it's good because now they have another ball handler that can create plays as well as score. So it takes pressure off of his backcourt mate.
Let's try it one more time. Make some noise, Kings fans. Much better with the Kings fans. Gonna keep it going all night long. JackJumpers out by 3. Making noise as well. A 50-50 split down the middle. All right, it's nice.
Sydney Jackson.
31 plays to win.
Bruce. Extended pressure. And the JackJumpers.
Soares for 3. Nice hit. I hear you. Got a tied ball game. 1:20 left before we get to halftime. Good defense by Soares. And that's just a tough one-on-one play by Xavier Cooks.
And I'm back, baby.
He is back.
I'm back.
Had to hold you down. I got you, Liam. I got you.
Good man. Some tech difficulties here, but we're on top of it. And I'm back. Jack McVeigh, catch and shoot triple, straight away 3.
JackJumpers back with the lead.
One-point lead to Tassie. As Jackson McCoy gets on the attack. He's getting into the lane whenever he wants right now. In this first half, Jackson McCoy, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the young man.
Definitely did. He called for the screen. Soares came, set it, rolled hard. McCoy turns the corner, takes the hit. Now he goes to the charity stripe for 2.
Well, this is precisely what he's been doing at the FIBA level for South Sudan over the last 12, 18 months. He's crafty, off the bounce, McCoy, and with the length, his ability to get to the free throw line, it's going to be helpful for the Kings' depth at that point guard position. So inside the final minute of this first half in Darwin, it's been a bit of a grind here in the first half. Both teams dusting off those preseason cobwebs, but it's a close one. Here's Majet. He's got the switch. He's got Xavier Cooks on him. Thinks it's a mismatch. It probably really isn't. Kelly down low. Doyle, he catches and lets it fly. That's off, and Jack McVeigh just couldn't quite handle it. 3 seconds on the clock until halftime here for Sydney. McCoy finds Cooks. He's going to let it fly, and that's no good. So it's a 1-point lead for Sydney at halftime. 35-34 in the grand final rematch. And look, the shooting percentages haven't been what we were used to when we last saw these two teams going head-to-head, Corey. Game 3 was a spectacular display from these two squads, but it's a tight one, and it's fun to see these new faces on the floor.
Yeah, it is. And a couple of these guys the new faces have not disappointed. I like what I'm seeing from Milton Doyle, Rashard Kelly. Coaches huddled up, talking about what they're going to discuss with the teams inside. I like what I see from Derek Walton Jr. Tim Soares stepped out, hit a couple of threes. And so far, so good.
As we sit off the top, if you're just joining us, historic night. There's Chase Buford coming in and chatting to his assistant coaches. Fleur McIntyre leading the way for the Sydney Kings tonight. And there's the Brains Trust for Sydney all talking it through. Chase, what a spectacular opening season for him in the NBA. He just came in and it was all too easy.
Let me tell you, no, it was not. No, it was not. Remember, a couple of games in, they lost by about 40-something in Melbourne. And it looked like it was all was lost. And then they turned the corner, and the rest is history.
Some of what we saw in the first half. Corey, and we're going to the Jack Jumpers end of the floor. We're going to see a fair bit of Rashard Kelly and Milton Doyle, and down this end, a fair bit of Derek Walton Jr. doing his thing.
Yeah, creating, finding space to do his thing and create for himself and others. But what I did like was even though he had a couple of turnovers, he was finding his teammates. He can score but he can also create for others. And nice crossover and this beautiful alley-oop and one. Young Galloway finished that. Good ball movement. Didn't always result in a bucket, but they're moving the ball well.
And that's what Suarez is going to bring to this squad. He's knocked down a couple from long range. There's the scoring leaders with Kelly and Doyle leading the way for the Jack Jumpers. Walton Jr. and Tim Suarez leading the way for Sydney. And Walton Jr., he's got those 7 points, but he's got 3 dimes as well, and really could have been 6 or 7. There you see the rebounding leaders. Kenyon's been all hustle so far in that first half, and Hunter and Noy, we spoke about those guys at length.
Yeah, good to see Hunter back out there, aggressive at both ends, cleaning up the boards. And Noy been impressed with his energy, how he looks in shape, and how aggressive he is at both ends.
You see the numbers. The assist leaders, Walton Jr., as I said, that really could have been 6 or 7. He got
could have
shortchanged a couple from some teammates, and there's the box score for the Jack Jumpers. It's been a fun first half.
Yeah, it has.
To begin our Saturday night doubleheader, the grand final rematch. There's the numbers for the starters for the Kings. Xavier Cooks just working his way into things.
A sequel, months in the making. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Seek an early summer holiday in the Northern Territory.
We spent some time in Darwin a few years ago with the 3x3. You especially went up ahead of time, got up close and personal with some of the wildlife. Fun place to be.
It really is, and I wish I could have. I'm disappointed that I couldn't be there because the days that I didn't work, I would be out checking out the tourist attractions. And I really, really hope a team gets there. I really hope a team gets there.
Well, it's been a good show out from the fans so far on night 1 and here on night 2. So that's a great start, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to take a little break here at halftime of this grand final rematch. It's a 1-point lead to the Sydney Kings. Stick with us. We'll be back for more in just a few minutes.
So you're speaking about the Blitz, obviously. How incredible is it to bring the entire nation's top teams up to the top end with this incredible tournament?
The rest of Australia is very jealous right now because we've got all the basketball teams all focusing on the top end.
What do you think the likelihood of possibly getting a team up here could be?
Well, I'm just saying we're really committed. The Salties, and I'd like to acknowledge the volunteers and everyone in basketball at the top end because they have made it happen. We're really committed to working with them and the NBL to see it happen permanently into the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, your chief minister, please put your hands together for this incredible woman doing incredible things. All right, Neil, I'm going to throw it back to you. It's not going to be long until the boys are back on court, warming up for the second half. Who's your tip? Can I get one out of you? Is someone going to take it out?
I reckon we got a 2-point victory for one of the teams in quadruple overtime.
Quadruple overtime, all right. I love it. DJ, I want you to play a bit of a dance track that everyone can get involved. Have you got something queued up for me? Something fun.
Have you got any songs about sitting on the fence for me?
I love it. Yeah. This one's a little bit more hard. And perfect timing because the City Kings are coming back out.
Welcome back to Darwin. Second half, not far away here. Grand final rematch, the first leg of our Saturday night double header. With the grand final rematch here, Sydney and Tassie. And Corey, as we've said throughout that first half, Perth and Cairns coming up next. Now, we spoke a little bit about the Taipans. Adam Ford's calling them the factory. Lots of young, exciting talent coming up later tonight. But the Perth Wildcats, off the back of their streak snapping season where they missed the playoffs last season, some key changes, but most importantly, the change at the top. Head coach Scott Morrison is out. John Rillie, your former teammate, is in.
I'm so happy that the legend, John Rillie, is back in the NBL coaching the Perth Wildcats. Very difficult to get a head coaching job in the NBL anymore, but at least you're having an opportunity to coach a quality team that has King Cotton on it. Enter, you have championship pedigree on that team. Mitch Norton, young Luke Travers. We're about to get the best version of Luke Travers. And that's what you want to see. So he has a lot of good pieces. I personally would hate to have been on that team as a player last year and been a part of a team that broke a streak like that. But the good thing about it is they're going to be really, really angry. I would hate to play against Perth Wildcats this season. I really would.
Well, we had a couple of hit-outs in advance of the Blitz, the Wildcats. A couple of wins over Adelaide. We're going to get another really good look at them tonight.
Now, speaking of Adelaide is no joke.
No joke.
So if Perth beat them twice, that was a very impressive win I saw yesterday. Forget how close the game was. They blew it up to 20.
Dominated.
It was impressive. I know there's no Krieg, no Broekhoff, but
no Trey Kell.
And no Trey Kell. But I like the way they went about, the way they played. That is a big squad.
It was fun. They were on the attack.
Yes,
yeah. And you spoke about what the Wildcats did in those couple of early preseason games. I really like the look of Sean Thomas. He's not going to play later tonight. He's dealing with that ankle injury he sustained a couple of days ago, but I think he's going to be really good in this league. I know you said so on the first episode of NBL Overtime as well. You think he's going to be a productive player for the Wildcats.
I think he's going to take an extreme amount of pressure off of Bryce Cotton. A lot of times, I think every year, I'm like, at times you were as well, Bryce Cotton looks a little worn down or a little tired, right? Because we know how the defense has to wear him down. You know what I mean? They're throwing two people at him. They get physical with him. That wears you down. So to have a championship winning type of player opposite the court with you, okay, on the opposite wing, that takes pressure off of you because you know, or if you don't know, you're about to know, he can deliver as well. It's very important.
Looking forward to watching Brady Manick out there for the Wildcats tonight.
Dude.
As well.
You got a guy with a wild beard. You got another guy with a wild mullet.
Truth.
Man.
They got some big hair.
They got some big hair.
Well, we're nearly underway here for the second half. 1 point lead for the Kings. And a little bit of a change to the lineup here for Sydney. It was Geordie Hunter that started the game, the 5 spot for the Kings. And Tim Suarez, the Brazilian-American, will man the 5 spot to begin this second half. It's Walton Jr. Two-man game with Xavier Cooks out top, and he gets stuck in the air and touched by Kenyon. 5 seconds on the shot clock to work with for the Kings.
And that's the matchup I want to see right there. Cooks and Kelly.
Cooks needs to let it fly, and that's off the front of the rim.
And I know it's preseason, but when you are extremely competitive as an individual, there's 2 guys defending each other. They're not turning that down.
And here is that matchup down the other end. Kelly isolated with Cooks. He gives it up. Doyle gets it now off the back pit. Lets it fly. It's off the front of the rim. JackJumpers get it back. Kelly's got the mismatch with Walton Jr. if he wants it in the block. They find him down low. Spinning. Finds Krislovic. Suarez holds his position. Krislovic scores through the contact. Xavier Cooks gets involved from behind, and Krislovic goes to the stripe for the bonus.
It's a good find Got a little bit, got the mismatch. A lot of defense came to cut that water off. He finds Krislovich. Makes a solid move and goes to the line for 3 the hard way.
Jeez, wasn't he good for Tassie last
Oh
season?
man, what a pickup.
Man.
What a pickup, because the year before, he was with Cairns, and you would have thought he wouldn't even have gotten back into the league. I would have thought that.
Okay.
It was a tough year for him. But for him to get to Tassie and Scott Roth being able to get everything out of him. And it's just great to see that Coach of the Year being able to do that. That's how you get Coach of the Year.
Yeah, shout out to both those guys, Scott Roth and Krislovic, because when Magne went down, I mean, I'd already written him off, Corey, but I
Dude.
the red pen turned into a red texter, and I ended up with egg on my face. And Krislovic was a major part of all of that. Here's Majet, the mid-range pull-up. Can't hit. Here's Cooks, grab it and go. Walton Jr., oh, what a pass. Bounce pass, finds Vasiljevic, but he can't knock it down. Like the look of that, though, from Sydney. Cooks, Walton Jr., Vasiljevic. There's Milton Doyle finds Kelly down low. Banging with Justin Simon. Krislovic bobbles the catch underneath. Gets it back, kicks it out. Majet lets it fly, and that's down.
I mean, look, it was an ugly play, but you'll take it.
No hesitation from Josh Majet. And another turnover here from Sydney. The JackJumpers just starting to get on top a little here with their grit and effort at the defensive end.
And that's the blueprint of their club. Defense.
Little Cotton Eye Joe in the background, much to my chagrin, but we push on. Here's Majet, the pull-up, in and out. Suarez kicks it ahead. Simon. Cooks with the follow, trying to get a little circus with it. And Kenyon takes it away. That's a 4-point lead for Tassie. 2.5 minutes into this second half. The ball moves side to side for the JackJumpers. Kenyon on the attack. We're getting the full version of Cotton Eye Joe in the background, and we're getting a good look at Justin Simon above the rim.
Doing what he does best. Good defense. Deflections. Turns into steals and dunks.
There's Doyle, snakes his way through the gap, finds Krislovic, and that's down. Good hit from Krislovic from long range. Walton Jr., uh-oh. Woo. Got Majet with the hezzy, but couldn't finish. Here's Majet on the hop. The tempo is starting to pick up a little here in Darwin. After a bit of a grinded out affair in the first half, Majet finds Kelly. And he just couldn't quite get the handle. Doyle getting active defensively, and the Kings will keep it.
Angie's picking up. Substitutions have been made.
Vasiljevic and Simon will come out. Bruce and Jalen Galloway come in for the Kings. That was fun from Justin Simon, turning defense into offense. Kings fans will be looking for plenty of that from Simon across the rest of this season.
Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of that. That's what he does.
No look pass from Cooks. Ball comes back to Walton Jr. Pull up triple. And that's down. Good hit from Walton Jr. over the outstretched hand.
And it looked like it was an and one. Walton Jr. 11 points.
He's doing his thing out there.
Yes, he is.
There's Doyle on the attack. Rims out. He's had a couple of good looks. Just hasn't been able to knock him down.
Ooh, ooh,
Walton
ooh.
Jr.'s getting busy on the bounce. And Xavier Cooks nowhere near it with that long range attempt. Doyle calls the play. Looks like he called his own number here. Horn set. Hand off McVeigh. Finds Majet. Gets it back. Up fake. Bucket. Good offense there from the JackJumpers. All getting through hands. And an offensive foul drawn from McVeigh. Bruce, heavy contact. And is that the shoulder that's maybe been giving McVeigh a little trouble?
Hopefully not, but good defense. Gets it done at both ends. Hits the three in the corner. Off of a well-executed offensive set. You know when the JackJumpers settle down in that half court and run their sets, they are tough to guard.
Got a couple of really good decision makers. There's one of them, Majet, called for the travel. He can't believe it. He said, I learnt to pivot when I was 6 years old. And I'm still doing it the same way. But you talk about Majet, Milton Doyle, the ball's going to be in their hands, and they're making good decisions. 9 times out of 10. Walton Jr.
And so is he. He is. This is light work. He's getting it done.
What is this? Second gear? Is this first gear?
He in second.
Okay.
And he would have had about 7 assists already.
He would have.
So that's 13 and 7.
Well, it's not quite 7 in the book.
All right, let's say 6. Let's say he would have had that. I'm just saying when the bigs start to get to know him more, he's going to have that conversation, just say, look, it's all right. It's our first game. Just be ready.
Yeah, he's going to be nice. Here's Majet. Defense slips under. Can't punish it. JackJumpers get it back, though. Here is Majet again. McVeigh, pick and pop. And he's called for a travel. They're a little travel happy right now, the Jackies.
Quatnoy back in the game.
So back-to-back turnovers for Tasmania. And a chance to tie it perhaps here for Sydney. Here's Galloway on the attack. Great take. Jalen Galloway to the rim.
So mismatch. Majet couldn't stay in front of him. Good finish, young fella.
He's going to be a real player next couple of years, Galloway. Good defense there. Majet looking for the whistle but didn't get it. Here's Walton Jr. hesitating, finding Bruce in the corner. Geez, another air ball, and Kelly sends that one into the front row.
Good block.
A couple of guys just still finding their range here at the start of preseason.
Yeah, you know, game 1 of the Blitz. These things take time.
There's Sean McDonald, Tassie DP checking in. He's got the job on Walton Jr. Now there's Ben Air in the background.
My guy. Looking forward to seeing him next game.
He might be listening to you right now. It might be the old-fashioned, I'm going to just take the commentary in while
the game is going.
Give him a shout-out. That's your guy.
Shout out to Ben Air. Glad to see him fully contracted.
He's pounding away down low. And gets to the free throw line. And we talked about how he's looking in nice shape, Quatnoy. But what I'd like is, he's trimmed down, but he's also kept that strength.
Right.
In that chest and shoulder region, because he's going to play minutes at the 4 for the Kings across the course of this season. He's going to get work done like that down low.
And he's going to be a mismatch nightmare, because he also could step out and hit that 3. So you slim down, but you definitely, as you said, you do not want to lose that muscle and that upper body strength. And so far, so good. I like what I'm seeing.
Well, you got a lot of work done in that kind of way in the NBL 1 North this season. MVP for the league. Took his team all the way to the grand final. Wasn't able to be there in game 1, and things got away from the Gold Coast Rollers. Took out the title. Well deserved. But sets him up for a big bounce back season for the Kings with a bit of a change of scenery.
Yeah, he knows it too. So again, this is how you want to see him come in game 1 of the Blitz. Like what I see.
1 point lead to Cindy. 3 minutes and change left in the third quarter. First leg of our Saturday night doubleheader. 7 straight nights of doubleheaders over the course of the next 7 days as the NBL Blitz really fires up in the top end. Here's Walton Jr. Isaac White's in a tough spot right here. That's off the back of the rim. Kenyon, he's been a monster on the glass tonight. Whatever the coach calls for, no whistle here. No blood, no foul at the moment. McVeigh can't get a call.
That's letting him play.
Walton Jr. kicks it ahead. Noy into the corner. Sean Bruce can't hit. And again, Matt Kenyon. He's going to have double-digit boards tonight, cleaning up the mess. There's White. Gets the ball screen from McVeigh. Pick and pop. Catch and shoot. Knocks it down. Jack McVeigh doing Jack McVeigh things at the Blitz.
You cannot give him daylight. It is going up. Good hit. McVeigh up to 11.
Sean McDonald doing a good job staying in front of Walton Jr. And the JackJumpers get a stop. They've taken a 2-point lead now. Here is McVeigh. Ball getting through hands for the JackJumpers. There's Weeks. Again, McVeigh with the pop. He was open. Weeks, he missed him. Isaac White finds a little space. And he's a little short. Noy pulls it down. Here comes Sydney. The ball knocked out of bounds and it gives a chance for a couple of rotations. Jared Bairstow coming in. Also Walter Brown, DP for the JackJumpers, checking in, getting some minutes, and back on the floor for Sydney, Vasiljevic and Simon and Cooks. Another nice set of hair for you, Corey. Walter Brown getting some second half minutes.
120 left in this one.
Vasiljevic draws the contact. Scott Rock wants to travel. Doesn't get it, and Vasiljevic draws the foul, but it'll be a side out of bounds for Sydney. Two-point game. Minute and change left in the third quarter. Noy down low. Mismatch. Too strong. Gets to the stripe.
Good offensive set. Comes off the weak side. They set that screen for me. Catches the ball low, and you know what he's going to do with it. He's going to put it up.
6 points and 7 boards. Kawat Noy working on a double-double off the bench.
Nice double-double off the bench.
Now Kenyon's a game-leading rebounder. 0 points for Kenyon, but 9 boards. As Noy misses the front end of that one. For 2 from Noy. 2. Leaves a couple at the stripe, and Kings trail by those 2 missed freebies. Well, baseline action, staggered screens for White. Pitches out to Brown, and he's on the sideline. The Kings will gain possession. Inside the final minute here of the third quarter. 1 bucket game. Here's Vasiljevic. McDonald chasing hard. Good help from Bairstow on the pick. Kick. Simon on the wing. He can't hit. Good defense there from the JackJumpers. Here's White. Injury replacement for Clint Steindl. Weeks high off the glass. Good defense from Cooks. And Sydney will gain possession as we close out this third quarter.
Nothing happening. Last few possessions. Can Sydney tie it up? Either way, it's going to be a tight, and I think the excitement is going to step up this last quarter.
Here's Cooks.
Oh! Tried to go upstairs and finish him.
Couldn't quite throw it down, Xavier Cooks. My goodness.
Wow.
That was going to be a monstrous finish from Cooks at the rim. But it doesn't quite go down, and the buzzer sounds in the background. That's the end of the third period. It's a 2-point lead to Tassie. Grand final rematch, not disappointing. Preseason vibes, no doubt about it. You see the shooting percentages, sub 40% from the field. I'm not convinced by those 3-point numbers there from the JackJumpers. And both teams leaving a few on the stripe, but it's a tight, closely contested ball game as we reminisce on what was, yes, a sweep from Sydney in that grand final last season, but was a series that was tightly contested and one to remember.
Man, every game was exciting. Sydney had to play. Sydney had to play. But they got it done without the MVP, Jalen Adams. Very impressed. Very impressed with that effort by the JackJumpers in the grand final. In the finals, period.
You know, I was thinking back on that grand final series earlier today. Thinking about this game we were going to be calling tonight. And there were some big moments, of course, some big talking points. Jalen Adams, the injuries, Xavier Cooks, how good he was. Double-doubles every game. The big shot from Dejan Vasiljevic, which was definitely the most memorable moment of that grand final series. Of course, Jarrell Martin came up big in Clark. You know what I think slid a little under the radar? The performance from Josh Majette in Game 3.
Game 3.
12. Listen to this line. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, 0 turnovers.
Wow.
As he did absolutely everything he possibly could to keep his team alive.
And that's why he's still here. Unfortunately, you couldn't retain both. The backcourt and Josh Adams. Wish they both were here. Josh Adams, what he did was unreal. His run in the finals and the grand finals. But at least, you know what? At least we have one of them.
You know, it's an interesting talking point. From what we've seen from Milton Doyle tonight, what you saw in those early couple of preseason games, we're underway here in the fourth term, and what we know of what he's capable of doing, Brooklyn net and the like. Is there a chance, because yes, Josh Adams was spectacular down the stretch of that season, but he was a roller coaster ride throughout the year. Is there a chance that they've upgraded in that spot when all is said and done?
It's too early to say, because what Josh Adams did, I can't say they upgraded yet. I haven't seen enough of Milton Doyle, and we can never forget what Josh Adams did in that finals and grand final series. So I can't say that yet.
Came up big in big moments. You always want your key guys to get that done, and he will forever be a memorable part of what was a spectacular NBL 22.
Man.
As Sean McDonald catches and knocks down the triple, puts the JackJumpers up by 5. And Scott Roth, good minutes. Sean McDonald, here's Suarez. This is what he does. Can't hit there. And Isaac White takes it away. Here's your man White. Defense slips under the screen. Rescreen comes, and White gets a little stuck. Here's McDonald. Nothing quite happening for the JackJumpers. Intensity picking up a little from the Kings defensively. Weeks finds some room and drills it. 8-point lead for Tassie, and Fleur McIntyre calls for time.
And with nothing happening in their offense, they still stick together. Nobody tries to just break it down off the dribble one-on-one. They're still looking for each other, and they found the right man. Knocks down a 3.
They just move that thing.
That's what they do.
They move it, they screen for each other, they move the ball, they move bodies, the JackJumpers, and Scott Roth teaches them on the day-to-day, just keep executing, we'll find a good shot.
and keep believing in each other. You know, you're talking about the ability to find something out of nothing, get something out of nothing. You know, so many of us did not believe in this team. And yeah, of course, things had to happen for them to get active in the finals. But regardless of what, they put themselves in the best position for those opportunities to happen. And everybody bought in, and everybody brought it, and he found ways to get the best out of his team. That's a classic example. Made something out of nothing.
And what you love about the JackJumpers as well is how regularly they have a real spread of scorers as a result of that mentality at the offensive end, playing together, moving the ball. Right now, no Clint Steindl, no Sam McDaniel, no Will Magnay. They've got 7 guys with 5 points or more in this game. It's been a low-scoring game, but they've spread it out. They don't care who puts the ball through the hole as long as it gets there.
And that's the great thing about no ego, no pride. We're really in this together. We buy in. We bought in. This is the result of it.
Derek Walton Jr. hassled by Jared Weeks on the perimeter. Double crossover from Walton Jr. Mid-range pull-ups, no good. Simon, nearly gets it back. And Walter Brown pounces on it. Some fourth quarter preseason minutes here for Brown. Recent DP signing, impressed in their DP tryouts, and he's out there in a big moment here in the preseason. Besto, the pass from McDonald, he can't finish. What can the Kings get going here at the offensive end? The Jackies have had them on lock here these first couple of minutes of the fourth. Cooks fouled, he's to the free throw line.
I think now, again, it's early, it's preseason, but I'm sure they don't want this game to get out of hand with their main guys on the court. So this is where I expect Dejan Vasiljevic, Walton Jr., and that man on the free throw line to start asserting themselves a little bit more.
Sometimes at the Blitz we start to see some funky lineups in big moments. We're seeing this from Tassie right now with some DPs out there on the floor here in the fourth quarter. Fleur McIntyre, she's going for it.
100%. Trying to get this W.
She's trying to get the W. On this historic night, and fair enough too. Here's McDonald off the glass. Suarez pulls it down. Here's Cooks now on the attack. Just loses the handle a little bit, and Isaac White takes it away. Weeks finds some room. It looked like it was down from our angle. And the foul called on Bairstow. Just might be the second team foul, maybe the first team foul for the JackJumpers. So the Kings will take it on the side. Cooks will check out. He's still in the game. He's going to take it out of bounds, Cooks. It's a 7-point game. McIntyre calling the shots from the sidelines. There's the play call. Rub too little. There's the rub screen from Cooks. It was a good call. Suarez hit Cooks right in the hands.
Real good play, just not the execution at the end.
Here comes Milton Doyle back in. Good minutes from Sean McDonald.
Real good minutes.
He just helped slow things down with Derek Walton Jr. Knocked down a triple. Well-earned rest for McDonald. Doyle comes back in to help close it out. Here is Doyle. Step back. Off the back of the rim. Walton Jr. on the push. Little inside out. Calls for the ball screen. Gets it from Noy. Ezzy. It's off the foot of White, and Sydney get it back.
It looked like it was off from this angle, it looked like it hit Noy's foot, but can Sydney get a bucket?
It's been bone dry for Sydney in this fourth quarter. First 3.5 minutes for Suljovic. Into the lane, off the board, no good. Tassie's D stands up again.
That's a good defensive possession by Tassie.
Just doing what they do. Possession after possession, the JackJumpers. And it's paying dividends here in this fourth quarter. Doyle. Gets it back. One-on-one with Noy. Triple. Bang! Big hit. Milton Doyle and the Jackies are up by 10.
Sidestep 3-ball from the land of plenty. Bucket.
That's what he came back out there to do. Oh, Walton Jr. can't finish.
And another stop by the JackJumpers.
Right to the rim. The import point guard. Couldn't quite roll it in. McVeigh picking, popping, and knocking down the triple. It's all coming up Tasmania here in the fourth.
I'm talking about executing at both ends, getting stops on the defensive end, coming down, having the poise, not rushing anything, and executing in the half court. Real good basketball at both ends by Tassie.
Here's the attention drawn from Milton Doyle. Suarez, he can't hit the triple.
And another stop.
Scott Roth, basketball being played to perfection here down the stretch from the JackJumpers. Milton Doyle on the attack.
And one!
Scoring through the contact, Milton Doyle and the JackJumpers extend their lead.
This is a smooth operator.
I love him.
Super smooth. Always under control, making the right plays. Great pickup.
Timeout called. 15-point lead to Tassie. It was a one-possession game at three-quarter time, and the JackJumpers have come out and gone bang.
But what I love about it is they're getting it done on the defensive end. Again, everybody, if you're playing for the JackJumpers, you have to be about defense and team. And they're getting it done as a team on the defensive end and coming on the offensive end, executing, getting really good looks.
Really good looks.
But when you think about it, Liam, watching them on the offensive end, as you said, everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's moving, which means whether you're screening or passing, you are a threat. The defense is not. The defense has to react.
But what I like about it, from what we've seen in this fourth quarter, when Milton Doyle was off the floor there to begin this fourth, it was an equal opportunity mentality on offense. And fair enough too. And they just moved the ball, moved the bodies, set picks, and found something good. But since he's come back in, they've played off him.
Yeah, correct.
They've run him through action. They've Jack McVeigh picking and popping with him on the weak side to get an open look. They've found him off turnouts. I like that mentality from Scott Roth. Say, hey, when we're coming down the stretch here, I'm bringing my guy back in the game. Make sure he gets the pill. Can't cash in with the bonus door, but the JackJumpers get it back. Hustle on the glass. Doyle, oh, nice finish with the left.
You know what starts to happen when everybody's active on offense? Lanes start to open up, just like what we saw. Because defense can't rest. Nobody can't rest because the player you're guarding is active.
And Doyle's carving him up. And one finish for Noy down the other end. Much needed bucket for Sydney.
Nice take by Noy. It's up to 8 points.
That man right there, Milton Doyle, he has been the story of this fourth quarter. They built the lead without him, but they have extended it. And since he's come out on the floor, and he has just been looked real nice. Just giving everyone a little taste, a little teaser of what to expect over the course of this season. So no Josh Adams, don't worry about it. Rashad Kelly draws the foul right there. You said it, Corey, when you watch this team playing against Southeast Melbourne, a couple of early preseason games, didn't take you long to like the look of these two new imports.
They're unselfish, and they fit exactly what this team needs. They're unselfish imports. Usually as an import, you got to come in, get yours, and think about just scoring. That's not their mentality. They're playing within themselves. They're team first type of guys. You can see it. It doesn't take long to see it.
But you combine that with the game too. I mean, Doyle off the bounce is nice.
Oh, indeed he is.
Here's Jackson McCoy. Coming in off the bench for the Kings. One hand whip pass to the corner. And Kings come up short again. Noy can't finish at the rim. The Jack Jumpers take it away. 16-point lead to Tassie. The Kings have been on lockdown here in the fourth. 4 points from Sydney here in this fourth quarter. First 6.5 minutes here. Majet finds Kelly. Fade away. In and out. McVeigh puts a lid on it down low.
They just open this game up. Nothing happening for Sydney in this fourth.
Man, 20-4.
And another stop.
It's a 20-4 fourth quarter here from Tasmania. Here they are again, getting through their stuff. Ball finds Majet late in the shot clock. Kick out to White, and that's down from the corner. Beautiful basketball from Tassie.
Liam, I know it's preseason, but just to see how well this team is moving the ball and running it off, it's so crisp. Make or miss, it's crisp. And this is great signs early for this Jack Jumpers team.
They nearly force a turnover there. Well, they did force the turnover. And then an over and back. Gives the ball back to Sydney. 21-point lead. Again, it was a 2-point game at three-quarter time. Spectacular final term here from the Jackies. Tristan Forsyth, former Southeast Melbourne DP, ready to check in. Next break in play is the injury replacement for Will Magnay right now. And as we see the foul called down low, Courtney being helped off the ground. That's something else to keep in mind here, Corey. Some big names, some real key guys to come back into this lineup for the Jack Jumpers at some stage. Clint Stein or Will Magnay, both guys replaced by other players right now, Isaac White and Tristan Forsyth, but also Sam McDaniel, who had a really nice NBL 1 season for the Hobart Chargers.
They're only getting stronger. And those guys have to come in ready to go. That's the thing when you're injured for a long time and the team is playing. You just went to the grand finals without Will Mack. He's got to come in ready to go because there's guys that's getting it done.
There's Milton Doyle checking out. Nice night from him. 13 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 0 turnovers. Highly efficient evening from Milton Doyle. He came up with some big plays late. Nui from long range. That's way off. Jeez, they're sitting some big misses.
Huge misses.
The Jack Jumpers in the first half down that end of the floor, and the Kings here in the second. Woody Hunter grabs the board. Here's Iggy Mitchell. Back as a DP for Sydney this season. Missed that 3-point look a few possessions ago. Getting some fourth quarter minutes. McCoy on the attack. Draws the foul. Has a knack for drawing that foul.
Yeah, another good drive. He's a good slasher. Uses his body well.
So we spoke about Rashad Kelly and Milton Doyle and how you like what they're bringing for this Jack Jumpers team. What about the 3 new imports for the Kings? Bit of an early look at it. Very, very early in proceedings. Preseason hit out right here. Derek Walton Jr., Justin Simon, Tim Suarez. If you like what you've seen across the board,
Derek Walton Jr., he's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Suarez, he's going to give us what he does. He's a stretch 5, rebounder. He's going to shoot some threes. Justin Simons is going to play really good defense. Thing is, today it was just offensively. They just couldn't get anything happening.
They shot 28% from the field tonight, the Kings. Sub 20% from 3.
But with that said, we do know this is preseason. So I'm sure they're just getting off the cobwebs.
It's Forsyth. Lefty hook doesn't go.
And these rims ain't no joke. These are some tight rims.
McCoy finds Hunter. My goodness. See, the problem is, on some of these, Corey, they haven't even given the rim a chance.
Yeah. Game 1 of the Blitz,
Hey,
baby.
It's been a rough shooting night for the defending champs. They'll get there. And as a result, they're down by 20. McCoy, that's nice. Lefty finish off the glass.
Nice left-hand take and finish. Looking forward to seeing a whole lot of that this upcoming season.
This was an arm wrestle for 3 quarters. And it ends up as a blowout. What a fourth quarter performance from Tasmania. Churned up the defense to begin this fourth term as McDonald rolls that in. He was a big part of that early in that fourth quarter and cashed in down the other end. Walter Brown gets his hands on it. Even the guys coming off the very end of the bench, Corey, playing JackJumper basketball.
It's inspirational because these are new guys joining this team, so they know, based off what we saw last year, what I need to make sure I bring every possession, and they've done that so far. Very impressive.
Weeks on the attack. Offensive foul, pushes off, owns up to it, and we get on with things on the baseline.
You know, the hardest thing to do when you have a brand new organization is build that into your DNA. Hard work, toughness, all those 1%ers. That's the DNA, the culture of the JackJumpers.
Well, they have well and truly built those cornerstones. Hats off to Scott Roth, and they'll be feeling good.
Listen,
after this first hit out at the Blitz.
Liam, I guarantee you I'm getting courtside this time. My flight got canceled last year. I guarantee you I'm making it this, and I'm not waiting late either.
All kinds of hustle to close it out from Forsyth, and that'll do us in Darwin. 20-point win to the JackJumpers, 73-53. Outstanding performance from last year's runners-up. It was a one-possession game at three-quarter time, and the Jackies just strangled Sydney into oblivion in that final term.
Listen, I believe. I gave you 10 reasons why I believe in the JackJumpers, and I saw all 10 of them reasons today.
Win or loss, and it was a loss on this occasion, but hats off to Fleur McIntyre. She's a trailblazer.
Definitely.
In the true sense of the word. First female to be an NBL head coach in a regular season or preseason game ever. That's in the books. Yes, it was a 20-point loss, but
it's still a win.
She's broken through and got that done tonight.
It's still a win. It's historic. Congratulations to her. I hope she gets a chance in the regular season.
Well, Kevin Lish will get the chance on Wednesday. There you see Lish and Daniel Kickett, the other assistants for the Kings, talking it through with McIntyre. He'll coach the team, is my understanding, on, I think it's Wednesday. For their next game, the Kings, they'll look to bounce back from a frustrating night tonight. But hats off to McIntyre. They call her the glue. Chase Buford refers to her as the glue that keeps their group together. And really cool to see her get that opportunity tonight. It wasn't a win on the scoreboard, but as you say, Corey, it was a win in so many other ways.
Sure was.
Well, a little bit of a look at some of what we saw tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a whole lot of Tasmania down the stretch here, Corey. These are the guys that got it done to begin the fourth, and then Doyle came out and closed it out.
And those were all locals. And this is no man's an island. It's just you can't do it just with one individual. This league is not built like that anymore. And it's great to just see everybody coming in. This man right here, smooth. And one. Billy Doyle getting it done. See everybody come in and contribute their part. And now it's a 20-point win to open their Blitz campaign.
We just got a message here from Tracy York. Great to see Fleur as head coach. Shout out to Tracy. We mentioned a few other names early doors. Laurie Chiswick, Michelle Timms, Tracy York, of course, and Chanel Pompalier, the other women to have been coaches in this league over the journey, on those coaching staffs that have brought great things to those squads. And really cool to see Tracy, and I'm sure a couple of those other names enjoying seeing Fleur in control of that squad tonight.
And all it takes is one, and then the doors start opening. You just got to continue to keep pushing, and opportunities will come. Just keep pushing and keep doing the work. So it's great to see the Kings make that happen.
Well, we're going to have a look at some full-game stats here in a minute. And whilst the shooting percentages were not pretty for Sydney, sub 30% from the field, geez, the JackJumpers really lit it up in that final term. It was 25-7. The JackJumpers outscored Sydney in that fourth quarter as they just really got it done at both ends of the floor.
They really did. Yeah, from the three, shots weren't dropping. But defensively as a team, they locked down and closed those driving lanes up. Real good team defense.
And of course, NBL Blitz, you get the points for the win, but also for what you do on an individual quarter-by-quarter basis. And the JackJumpers will come away with some nice points from this one, heading towards the Loggins Bruton Cup and how that gets decided later in the week. But in the meantime, they will just enjoy the way they went about it. Scott Rothel will have nothing but good things to say in that huddle. Meanwhile, the Kings, as you say, just dusting off the cobwebs, but they will try to learn some things, no doubt, from tonight's performance, especially in that fourth term. But of course, we're just getting started here.
We sure are.
For your Saturday night doubleheader at the NBL Blitz, it's Perth versus Cairns coming up in the second leg a little while from now. Maybe 20, 25 minutes from now will be tip-off. John Relly in charge of the Wildcats, Adam Ford in his second year with the Taipans. So we will see you for that one. In the meantime, it's a 20-point win for the JackJumpers. On behalf of Corey and myself, the whole hard-working crew out the back, we'll see you soon.